Morning, everyone. Happy Monday. You know what today is? It's Monday Morning Chats with Sack. And Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a good weekend. I know usually when I get on here, but I'll tell you how my weekend was lit. Uh, Parts of it was. But this past weekend, I went to New Jersey to attend my aunt's memorial service. And so I can tell you that these last 2 weeks after her death, it was one day I'm good, the next day I'm just out of it. Like she was like one of my closest aunts. So it was definitely a loss for me. The memorial service, I was just no good. Just no good. And when people would ask me, what do you need, Sakina? And honestly, I didn't really need much. Just the thought of being checked up on, right? Just getting a text message or just a brief phone call. One of my close friends, actually my frat brother, will like send me like memes and make me laugh and everything because he knew how hurt I was. So, but the thing that I really needed was to be around my family. And so it felt good to be around my family. For those who don't know, I was born in Camden, New Jersey, raised in Philly. So my early childhood from I was born to about 6 years old, I lived in Camden, New Jersey. And so it was cool to just see people that I haven't seen in a long time. And most of the people I grew up with, it's like one of those things where you're friends and you become family. So like some people that I knew since I was like 3, like a infant, like I saw them there, and it was just really good to just be around family and friends and just celebrate my aunt's life. Now I can tell you, like, even though like the memorial service, it just had me, I fell apart. And I spoke at the memorial. I didn't cry. I almost like fell out, but I was broken during the whole memorial service. But the thing that I really enjoyed was that the repast and just seeing people there just like really celebrating her. So my aunt she battled with breast cancer starting June 2013, and she died June 3rd of this year. And she battled with cancer for some time, and no matter what, she still was able to just get back up and just keep going. But the thing that I noticed was that when she beat cancer the first time in 2014, we had like a big, like when I say we had a big barbecue, like we had a huge barbecue in Jersey. We all had t-shirts made, like Team Tracy. She beat breast cancer. I was doing the face painting for the kids. Like it was so dope. And there were so many people there. My aunt would tell me like all the people she grew up with and like who was her like best friends, who was her close friends. And when I went to the memorial service, some of them I already knew because I called them like my aunt, so I already knew they were going to be there. But the same people that was at the breast cancer celebration was at her memorial service, right? They were there. And then I just started thinking about things, and I started thinking about the things like God has been doing in my life. He's been really like removing me from friendships and realize like, hey, this is not it for you. Like you deserve better friends. And I was looking over my life and I was like, damn, like I didn't really have a lot of good friends. Like I was a good friend for them, but they just not it. And the one thing I learned from my parents is how to be a loyal friend. My mom and dad had some of the same friends for over 40 years. And it doesn't mean that you had to talk to them every single day. It doesn't mean that you got to hang out with them every day. But when my mom called her best friends and say, hey, I need y'all for something. Hey, can you support my kid for this? Hey, can you support X, Y, and Z? Without a shadow of a doubt. There. For example, when I had a huge law school graduation party. It was like over 100 people. My mom, she did that little bird call or whatever. Got her girlfriends together. Was like, listen, Sakina graduated. We got to make it big. Oh, what you need me to make, Cindy? My dad friends. I host family reunions. That's what I do. Like I bring family together. And every time I would have a family reunion in New Jersey, I've been doing that for like 4 years. I did four family reunions in New Jersey. And so anytime I do a family reunion, I'm like, Dad, I need help on the grill. I'm like, call Bruce. That's my dad's best friend. And without hesitation, Sakina just picked me up. I'm like, Bruce, what you need? And he'll say, just give me a pack of beer. And he will be on the grill from 7 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. And it's the loyalty. And I realized, like, growing up, like, my dad is like, my mom and dad are well known in Jersey, like, well known. You say my mom and dad name, they know exactly who you're talking about. Or if I go home and visit, and if I may not know the person, but they see me, they already know who I am, and I may not know them. And that's what happened to me at the memorial service. Like, you may not know me, but I know your mom and dad. I'm like, oh wow. So my mom and dad were really popular. And so if I had to, before I begin, I wanted to give a shout out to those that were very sincere in reaching out to me during this grieving moment, because it's difficult. I'm okay now. But I was receiving messages where it wasn't so sincere. So I think during the time of grieving, even though I have my weak moments, I'm still not dumb. And I can pay attention and have discernment from what is sincere and what is not. And so for my friends that have been sincere, man, I appreciate you guys. You have no idea what it feels, and just the feeling of being thought of during this difficult time. So I appreciate you. Those that was not sincere, I don't know what to say. But I if I had to label this, is like, are you keeping your friendships on life support? And so for these last few months, I've been finding myself, I guess I could call myself a loner. There's a lot of times I'll do things by myself, and that's not a bad thing. And I'm a deep thinker. Like, I'm a very deep thinker, and sometimes I may find myself saying, hey, I'd like to go get a crab cake, and I'll go somewhere, get a crab cake from somewhere. It's just like, I'm very, like, I'll wake up and say, hey, I want to get this. I want to do that. And so I'll find myself going to different places and have my notebook, because I like to journal write. And so for the last few months, I've been thinking about, the things I want to do in my life, and, how to build wealth. And, now I'm about to be a president of a bar association. Like, what can I do to give back to the city of Baltimore? So I've been in deep thought about that, been in meetings. Crap, I have a meeting today. And just thinking about ways, like, how to better myself on a professional level and also as a personal level. Like, what do I need to do to level up? Because I am, but I want to do more things. I've been thinking about those things, and I've been thinking about, like, the people that surround me. And I just started thinking deeper, like, throughout my life, did I have really good friends? Like, what's the definition of a friend? I talked about this last year, but for those that don't know, friendship is important to me. If you my friend, you my friend. But if you're not my friend, you just not my friend. And I just realized that, hey, if you get all my friends together, they'll tell you the same exact things about me. The only difference is if someone knew me longer, they may say, yo, I remember how Sakina used to be back in the day. But if someone would tell you, if you meet one of my friends, they'll tell you, like, Sakina, she's supportive. She's loyal. She's going to be there. Somebody you could trust. You could tell her anything. And she'll motivate you, right? They'll say, she's funny, but I just speak my mind. So I guess speaking my mind means that I'm comical. I don't know. But I just started thinking about the people that I had in my life, throughout all the years. Like, there's one friend where we knew each other since the 6th grade. And life happened. I moved around. And the one thing, for some reason, we always find a way to come back to each other. Her name is Courtney. You saw me in middle school. If you saw me, you saw her. It was vice versa. And so we're still friends to this day. Like, we still reach out to each other. I haven't seen her. Oh my God, it's probably been since I graduated, like 11 years. But we still keep in contact. So that's a good friend to have. But besides, I just started thinking about the friends that I had. And I was like, this don't look right. And I just started thinking back, like, because I don't judge my friends based on their careers. Like, I don't. Like, I could be best friends with a janitor. I don't have friends based on what they look like. I judge you based on your heart. I judge you based on how you treat other people. I judge you based on your integrity, and I pay attention to that. So I just been in deep thought, and I just started thinking, like, all the people that surround me, the people that I encounter, and I'm like, are they really good friends? Are they really good friends? Because I know what good friendship look like, because I see my mom and dad friendships, and I had to ask myself, was the reason why these friendships last because it was on life support, and I was the only person giving it oxygen. But what happens when I pull the plug? Shit is over, right? And I just started thinking like, yo, I don't need a bunch of friends. And when you're younger, your parents can see through people. And I remember, growing up, my mom would tell me like, this person, she not your friend, Sakina. She not your friend. Or she may say she jealous of you. Like, that's not a friend you need. And, when you younger, you don't want to hear that. You're like, well, that's my friend, Mom. And, she's not a bad person. She was like, I'm telling you. The week before my aunt died, I was in Charlotte for a whole week. I was like, I ain't care about no work. I ain't care about no client. I didn't care about no students. I wanted to spend quality time with my aunt. The first 2 days, she was in a rehab. And I went to the rehab for those first few days until she came home. This is the aunt. She will give it to me straight, no chaser. And she will always tell me things. And I'm like, Aunt, you crazy. She's like, no, Sakina, I need you to listen to me. But this week, and this was a week before she died, she was asking about certain people. She was like, how's Melissa doing? That's my girl. She was like, that's a good friend. She said, how's Olivia? That's my girl. That's my girl. That's a good friend. And she started naming other people. She said, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. That's not your friend. And I was thinking like, damn. And I just started thinking deeper, like, if I walk away, will I lose something? Will I be hurt by it? And I realized, no, I'm not hurt. And I found myself being removed from friendships. And once I felt myself like removing myself, like I feel like it was just like bricks just falling off of me. Like I just started to feel free. Started to get this glow. I started to be more happy because I realized like the pressure of that friendship, it no longer exists to me. And just because it no longer exists, it doesn't mean I don't love the person. They just can't go where I'm going at. Or I just don't need them around because there's no purpose being served. And sometimes it's hard. I think sometimes it's hard because you want people to stick around. But when you see people for who they are and you realize that, hey, I'm a good friend, but can this friend be a good friend for me? And I just start thinking about things like, is this friendship reciprocated? Like, am I the only one reaching out? Am I the only person, like, checking up on you? And I just started thinking deeper, like, damn, like, the only time this person called me, are they only calling me to get advice or to tell me about their problems? Do they ever check up on me and say, Sakina, are you okay today? Before I vent to one of my friends, and I don't vent to everybody, I'll say, hey, do you have the mental capacity to, I want to share something with you, like, or hey, like, how are you today? Are you available to talk? Are you available to listen to me? If you're not, I get it. It's fine. And let me be clear, when it comes to friendships, you don't gotta call me every day. That's absolutely fine. I'm probably in my own world, writing a poem, writing a journal entry, reading an article about communication, and how to establish relationships. I'm big on that. And I just realized that some people are not meant to stay. And like, you gotta just let them go. And doesn't mean that you don't love them. And I think people had this misconception like, oh, you let this person go, you must not love this person. No, that's not it. But you realize that they're not going where you're going at. There's nothing being reciprocated. Like, they're taking so much out of you, but they can't give you anything. And you realize that this is not it. And I just started thinking like, dang, like some friendships, like I was the oxygen. But once I pull this plug, it's over. And I just started realizing like, hey, those friendships, I just got to dig a hole and bury it. I don't need to go back and try to make it work and try to be cool again. I don't need that. But I realized that when I get to that point, I already tried to give this person a chance. Like, I already tried. I prayed like, hey, this relationship can get better. This relationship can get better. But once I say like, yo, this relationship is dead to me. Not saying the person is dead, but the relationship that we have is dead to me. Like, this relationship is 6 feet under. I just stopped caring. So that means that you're not going to get the same Sakina no more. Like, I'm not going to reach out to you, and I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to text you. I'm not going to do none of those things. If I want to, I may send you a message for your birthday, but that's it. Like, I'm not going out my way. You don't get birthday gifts from me. You don't get Christmas gifts from me. You don't get gifts just because. All those things are done. And I realize that's okay. And I realize that sometimes we block our own blessings because we keep people in too long, thinking they're going to change. And they already showed you who they are. Like, I knew some people for years, and I'm like, yo, you still the same. You ain't grow up. And it doesn't matter if you knew somebody for 10 years. It doesn't matter if you knew somebody for 15 years. It doesn't matter if you knew somebody for 20 years. You could meet somebody today, and they can be a better friend than people you knew your whole life. And that's what God has been showing me. Like, damn, like, I met some people within the last 2 years, and they've been better friends than people that I knew my whole life. So now sometimes I just look at my phone and I'll get these random messages like, hey, I didn't hear from you. Because you're not. I mean, you're not going to hear from me. Hey, call me when you get a chance. I have a chance. I'm just not going to call you. And that may sound harsh to some people, but you have to understand that sometimes you have to show that toughness. You have to show that because people don't get it. They may think, oh, she's just playing. No, I'm not. I'm not playing. But I have peace with that. I have a glow about that. I have happiness knowing that, hey, you know, if I keep people in too long, I can block my own blessings. And I don't want that. I don't need that. So I'm going to ask you, like, are you the oxygen to some of your friendships? Are you the oxygen? What happens if you pull the plug? Will it still breathe on its own? And if it does, how long? Like, how long? Now, don't get me wrong. You know, there's sometimes I get caught up in things, and I may not reach out to people as much, but sometimes I will, but it's life. But that doesn't mean I forget about you. But I can distinguish and say, hey, no, this is not a good friend. No, this is a good friend. They may be going through something. I can understand it, and I get it. I had one friend that told me, like, hey, Sakina, I was just going through some stuff. No, you don't got to explain that to me. I already know your character, so there's no need to explain. So you should ask yourself, like, what happens if you're the oxygen? You're the only one keeping it going. And don't get me wrong, you know, when I say reciprocation, you know, sometimes people think, oh, they got to do the exact same that you do. No. The way I give may be different than my friends. But friendships, it's a two-way street. You know what I mean? If you're the only one that's always there and you have a friend that's just never there. And I think the biggest thing is how do you define friendships? There's a question saying that, is it wrong to be the oxygen? It depends. I think it depends on how you define friendships. If you realize you're the only person always doing something, I'll give you an example. I had a friend where this person never supported me at all. Like, nothing. And it wasn't that it was, you know, traveling mercies or none of those things. Like, just never. This celebration could be near their house. And I don't know, people's finances may be different, but this wasn't dealing with money. Or people may not have the mental capacity. Like, I know some friends like, yo, Sakina, I was really going through a tough time. No, you're good. Like, I still love you. Like, you're good. I won't hold no things against people if I understand they're going through something. That's just not the person that I am. But this person just never celebrated me at all. Like, never. I'll go out my way, be there for them. And if there's one thing about me, I'll be there. If I can't be there, I'll figure out some type of way. That's just who I am. And I realized, like, yo, this person, like, what's the premise of our friendship? Now, you may have friends for different reasons, but I think sometimes you may call a person a friend. They may not be your friend. They just may be an associate. But how do you define friendships? Are they giving you what you need for that friendship? And if they're not, did you have a conversation about it? Before I walk away, like, I'll always have a conversation like, yo, I just think, like, you're not a good friend. Like, I'll have these conversations with my friends like, yo, I know we knew each other for so long, but you're not a good friend. Like, you're just not. Oh, I'm sorry, Sakina. Okay. But the crazy thing is, I don't sound crazy to them because they'll say, you right. Yeah, I know. So when I walk away, you had various chances. And hey, some people may think I'm not a good friend. I get that. Life happens. But I just know the people that I want in my life. Like, I'm very clear on that. And now just like, if I look around my circle and I see people around that don't need to be there, I'm gonna just walk away. I'm gonna just walk away. Just move backwards. Just move backwards. Um, so I hope that you look around you and ask yourself, where are you trying to go? Where are you at now? Who are the people that surround you? Now, some people can't take you to the next level. That's okay. Like, I have some friends that are not lawyers, and I still love them. Like, I don't love people based on their profession. Like, I have friends that I went to high school with, and they may have just like blue collar jobs. I still love them. I'm gonna still kick it with them, cause I don't judge my friends based on, the jobs that they have. I base them on their heart. I had some good friends in Florida. We may not see each other every day, but we keep in contact here and there. Like, they still cool to, they're still cool to be around. They're still cool people to know, and I respect it. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, is where are you headed? Who's around you? Some people can pull you back. Some people may not be able to do anything for it, but they can encourage you. But you may have some people that may be holding you back. You may have some people in your life that's just holding space. Or you may have some friendships where you realize, like, man, you're the only friend in this friendship, and the other person is not. And it could be for various reasons. Maybe they're going through their own mental health crisis. I don't know. They could be going through things. But you have to ask yourself, like, are you the only one keeping this friendship together? Are you the only one? I think what made me really start thinking deep about this is that I'll be 35 this year. And so I'm going to be lit. And I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate. And so I just started thinking about, my birthday list. Like, who I want to be there. Like, my law school graduation, it was lit. I mean, it was so many. I told you it was over 100 people. My birthday, I don't want that. I don't want that. And so as I started thinking about this list, I'm like, who do I want to really be there? And I'm finding it very difficult, because I don't want that many people to be there. And it's not saying, like, I got friends for different things, right? So some friends, I may not invite them to my birthday party. It doesn't mean I don't love them, but I got friends in different categories. But when I'm thinking about, like, celebration, like, it's hard for me to make this list. It's hard. But I hope that if you want loyal friends, I hope that you're a loyal person. If you want trustworthy friends, I hope that you're a trustworthy person. If you want friends that you could depend on, I hope that you're a dependable person. It's easy to demand so much of a friend. It's so easy to demand so much of a person. But sometimes you got to ask yourself, like, can you give what you're asking for? I hope that, you have a good week. I hope that you just really pay attention to your surroundings and pay attention of what's in front of you, and pay attention to the energies that surround you. Pay attention to what's going on and see if it makes sense. If you sit back, and sometimes you may have to, do a little solo trip to the restaurant with your notebook and just start writing out things like that. It's the things I'm starting to see. These things are not adding up. I hope you take time to just, like, really focus on what you want in your life and the people that you want in your life. And I guarantee if you manifest that, you'll get that. I hope that you just never forget how amazing you are. You are great. You are phenomenal. I hope that you have a great week. Lastly, I had to give my younger cousin a shout out. They called me Peace, Love, and Motivation. I'm the cousin with the vibes. So my cousin Michaela, if you're watching this, I love you, and we will do our monthly FaceTime. I'll always make time for you. Doesn't matter what's going on in my life. You're my family. You're my little cousin. Always have time. But yeah, I hope that you never forget how amazing you are, and I hope that you go out there what you want. You can get exactly what you want, whatever that may look like. I hope that the remainder of your week is great. And although I didn't have such a lit weekend this past week because of, celebrating death, but I will have a lit weekend this weekend coming up. It's going to be lit. So I hope that you have a great week. And, tell a friend to follow my YouTube channel. It's Sakina Tillman Esquire. All these videos will be posted on there. And I just do this as a way to just give back and just to motivate somebody to just never give up on their dreams. And I share my own testimony, and all these stories are real. There's nothing fake about things that I'm saying. But I hope that you guys have a great day and be blessed. Take care.